Hey guys, if you're new here and you like what I'm putting out, don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you never miss an upload. So, August 28th is kind of a big deal for the Power Rangers franchise because on this day, 28 years ago, Day of the Dumpster first premiered, and it was the very first episode of the Power Rangers franchise that sort of kicked off the Power Rangers phenomenon worldwide. So, why not do a retro review on the very first episode of Power Rangers that aired 28 years ago? This is my review for Day of the Dumpster for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 1, Episode 1. So I'm going to be honest with you guys, Day of the Dumpster is kind of a very basic pilot when it comes to Power Rangers and TV in general. It does what it needs to do, and that's what I kind of like about it, because it sets up the characters, it sets up the villain, it sets up the mentor, it sets up what the gimmick of the show is going to be, and tells you what you're going to be expecting when watching this show. And that's what I kind of like about it. It does throw a lot of information at you when they meet Zordon and stuff like that, but this episode does what it needs to do, introducing you to the heroes, the villains, and the supporting cast, and that's what I quite like about it. Now, it's no Destination Dino Henge or Road to Corum for any other pilot we got after Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 1, Day of the Dumpster. This is, like I said, a very basic pilot that tells you what the show is about and what it needs to do. And at the time, nothing had been done like Power Rangers before. No one had really grabbed Japanese footage from a different show and sliced it in with American footage. Now, there had been opportunities given where people wanted the dub-over Super Sentai, like Stan Lee wanted to adapt Sun Vulcan. I believe back in the day he wanted to pitch that to the executives and no one bought it. Saban was trying to adapt Bioman before they did Zyuranger, so no one had really done something like Power Rangers before, and surprisingly, it worked. It worked for what it did, and that is really crazy, because when I watched Power Rangers back in the day, I didn't know that was Japanese footage. I'm sure a lot of us didn't, and seeing it now, it's kind of obvious with the different color correction and what the suits look like and the fighting maneuvers and fighting techniques they use. You can kind of tell what's Japanese footage and what's not Japanese footage when you look at it. But it's crazy that Saban had this one idea and it actually worked. He had this idea to sort of fuse the two different shows together, a Western show and a Japanese show, and sort of slice it up and make it work, which is kind of crazy. And it's sort of been working for the past 28 years. Alright, I probably lost your attention and you probably clicked off the video by now. So what do I love about Day of the Dumpster? It's not the Megazord fight, it's not the morphing sequence, it's probably the juice bar scene where we're introduced to all the characters, where we meet Jason, we meet Billy, we meet Zach, we meet Trini, we meet Kimberly, we meet Bulk and Skull, and we learn what these characters are about and what they do. And although it's not the strongest introduction to learn what these characters are about, it's very basic to learn what these characters do and what they're like. It sort of sets the stage of what heroes we'll be following through this journey of episodes we're going to go on. And yeah, I know a lot of these characters are kind of archetypes and stuff like that, but I don't know, it's just wholesome to go back and watch that scene when they're in the juice bar, when we're introduced to Bulk and Skull and you have that comedic moment with them. Like, all those scenes stand out in my head the most when I go back and watch Day of the Dumpster, and that's one of my favourite parts of the episode. And although I dunk on Mighty Morphin Season 1 for being corny and campy and cheesy and stuff like that, it's always going to have a special place in my heart, especially Day of the Dumpster, because I used to watch this VHS tape with Day of the Dumpster and High Five on it all the time as a kid. I used to watch that tape all the time, and I loved watching that episode, seeing how the team formed together and joined up and stuff like that. That's always going to have a special place in my heart, watching that VHS tape, and I think I still own it to this very day. So watching Day of the Dumpster, I'm always going to get nostalgic watching it, thinking of those happy times when I used to watch Power Rangers as a kid growing up. So that episode is always going to hold a special place in my heart, no matter how weird and strange the other episodes are going to be. But with that said, that's going to bring this retro review to a close. What do you guys think of Day of the Dumpster? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you still remember it fondly? Tell me in the comment section down below. And if this retro review does well and gets a lot of views and a lot of interactions on it, I might do more. And if you want to see me do more retro reviews, write down an episode you would like to see me watch or review, and I'll talk about it on the channel. With that said, I'm going to bring this video to a close. Thanks for watching. Happy 28 years of Power Rangers, and thanks for sticking with the channel and watching my content, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace out, take care, thanks for watching, bye!